Hi there, thank you for choosing Folium hosting. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to set up and connect a domain to your Minecraft server. You have two options when it comes to this. The first option is a free subdomain, and the second option is your own domain that won't actually be free. We'll start with the free subdomain option. So you're going to go to your server, then Network, Subdomains, Create Subdomain, and then select a domain you'd like, for an example, my-smp.net, then the name. In my case, I'm going to go for Folium test. Then at the port, make sure that you have selected the default one, which it should already be selected, but just make sure. Then you just click Create Subdomain. Now, you can copy this and then join the server, which you can do by obviously going to your game, clicking on Add Server, pasting the address, done, and then you're gonna see I have logged in. Now, one issue about this is that Bedrock players will not be able to use this domain. So, if you have a crossplay server or if it's Bedrock only, they will not be able to play, only Java players can connect. Alternatively, the other option is your own domain, which unfortunately costs a bit of money. It can be pretty much anything you need, and you have to buy this from a domain registrar. I'd suggest buying it from CloudFlare, as that is what we're going to use to configure the domain regardless of where we buy it from, which you can find by literally just googling CloudFlare domain. And then the first link, and then over here you can search for a domain, and if it's available, so let's say this is a tutorial.com, you can purchase it. It usually costs about $10 per year. After you have purchased it, you will get redirected to this page, and here you will be able to configure your domain. Or, if you're buying it from somewhere else, in my case would be Dynadot, that's just the website I have chosen, there will be a few things you have to configure. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go to Cloudflare, we're going to click on Add, Connect a Domain. We're going to enter the domain that we purchased, which in my case is hixie.art, so I'm going to type that. Then we're going to leave all of this as it is and click Continue. Then select the free plan. On this page, we're going to skip it for now, as we're going to configure it later anyway. Then over here, when it asks you for the name servers, you're going to have to change them from the domain registrar. This works a bit differently for every website, but they all call them name servers, so you can just Google how to change your name servers for whichever website you're using. In my case, for Dynadot, I can just copy these, and then go to my domain, click on Dynadot parking, then switch this to name servers. Then the first one that I already copied is here, and then the second one is here. Then I click on Save Name Server. After that is done, I'm going to scroll down, and then I updated my name servers. Then we're going to click on Check Name Servers Now. And while we wait for that, we're going to go to DNS Records. First, we'll add the record for Java players. This would be clicking on Add Record, then switching type to SRV, which you can just literally type. The name has to start with underscore Minecraft ._TCP. And if you'd like people to join with the domain starting with, for an example, play or MC or anything, you can add dot and then play or .mc or anything. Or if you just want them to, in my case, join with hixie.art, you can just remove the play and the dot. So it should look like this. In this case, I'm just going to add .play. You can set priority and wait to 0. The port is your server's port, which you can find right here. So it would be 25004 in my case. And I'm also just going to copy this and then paste it here, because the target is the IP. And to separate the IP from the port, you can just copy the port and then paste it here, and then these two dots at the end, you have to delete them. So it ends in .net with nothing after it. Then we can save, and this will now work for Java players. Now, if you'd like to also set it up for Bedrock players, or if you're only looking for Bedrock players, you can go to add record, leave it as A. The name has to be the IP address, but not the domain one. Rather, it has to be going to environment, settings, and over here where it says server IP, you're going to copy this, then paste it over here, and then obviously remove the port and the two dots. Set the proxy status to off, so it says DNS only. Then the name has to be different from the Java one. So in my case, the Java one is play dot. This one, I'm going to set it as Bedrock. So as you can see, bedrock.hixie.art is going to be the Bedrock IP, and then the Java one is play.hixie.art. Now we're going to save this. Now I'm going to, as we set it, play.hixie.art. Done. And at first it might not work. It's likely because your computer takes a little bit before it works specifically for you. So to check if it works for everyone, you can search for Minecraft server pinger, then click on any of the links. I personally use this website, but it doesn't really matter. Then you can just enter the domain, which would in my case be play.hixie.art, and then submit. And then as you can see, it displays that it works, so then it should work for everyone. Then you can also check the Bedrock one by going to Bedrock Edition, and then in my case it would be Bedrock. Submit. If it displays offline, it's because we didn't specify the port, which, depending on if it's a crossplay server or Bedrock only, it would either be the port that you see here, or if it's crossplay, it would be the port you have assigned from the network tab, in which case for me is this one. So I'm going to do this and then submit. And as you can see, it's online. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe, and if you have any other questions, feel free to ask us in our Discord server that you can find down in the description.